All right, looks like we are live. Yes. All right. So this is a exclusive Patreon Q&A session, a sesh. As you guys start coming on to do a little bit of jamming and chit chat, just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's become a Patreon and supported the work. I'm going to release this on the channel at a later date. It'll just be recorded. So those that are on live now will get to ask the questions. Those that get to see it later on in the channel will have missed the opportunity to ask questions. So if you want the opportunity to ask questions, become a Patreon. I've got some questions that some people left that are unable to participate tonight just because of time zones and where they're at. I see some viewers are coming on. What's up? So let me get to the first question while you guys start getting into the live stream. This is from one of my patrons over in, looks like Northern Europe, I think. Can't pronounce your name. I think it's Juka. Anyway, he said, I've got a problem with the giving zero fucks area. I took the red pill about 5 months ago and became aware of female nature. After swallowing the pill, I went through the stage of red pill rage. It's interesting. You know, when I took the red pill, I kind of, it almost calmed and soothed me because stuff started to make sense that had bothered me in the past. Some people do go into like a red pill rage. By the way, those of you guys that are on that are patrons, you can post your questions below. You can either do it on the Patreon page or I believe on the YouTube Hangout. There's a chat bubble down there as well. So I'll get to yours in a sec. Let me just get this one real quick because it was left on the secret Facebook page. The problem with this, okay, so he's red pill rage. The problem is that the particular female behavior still irritates the crap out of me, and as is plate spinning and how they play the faithful girl role at the same time and get away with it with a smile on their face. Yeah, women don't want to be known as plate spinners because of slut shaming. It's not what they want to be known as, but you know, like it is what it is. I'm not sure why it irritates me, but every time I see it, I get a little angry, especially if the female is someone I know. And of course, she usually is because of how else would I see her doing it. So you got the background story. I'm not sure if I'm still in the red pill rage stage. Yeah, you are for sure if you're getting pissed, because if you're understanding, you're just not going to care. It's like, oh, that's par for the course, water off a duck's back, Paffolt's law, hypergamy, monkey branching. You just, you know, you spot it. You know, you spot the behavior, so it doesn't you know, knock you off. So if you're still getting pissed off about it, it's because you got a bit of rage still. How do I get past this and not get irritated? Is something similar, meaning the shit. Okay. Just to make it clear, I don't confront them about it. I just get angry and irritated inside my head. And of course, so you basically opened up with, how do I give fewer fucks? Well, somebody asked me this at the convention in Orlando, and my answer is still the same. It's if you're giving fucks to things that are not fuck worthy, it's because you don't value your fucks. Okay. So if you absolutely place some sort of value, if you care about the energy, you know, your energy management, the amount of little, you know, energy bars that you allocate throughout the day to get up, to make coffee, to have breakfast, to take care of work, to eat lunch, do everything in between until you're out of juice. And then you're saving some of your, you know, fucks to give to, you know, women that are pissing you off, where, you know, you're basically pointing to basic stuff. Like if what she says doesn't match the behavior. We've talked about this before. Whenever there's a conflict between what's said and what's done, always believe what's done. So you just have to become more aware about it. Go deeper down the rabbit hole is what I'd recommend to you. You're not managing your energy, AKA your fucks, for truly fuck-worthy things because you don't value your fucks. So when you start valuing them, you won't get angry at natural behavior. It's you know, it's just par for the course. Again, Patrons, those of you guys that are on live, post your questions below. Got, I think, 2 or 3 more questions here. I'm just going to get through that were left by people that couldn't join. So Troy says, I'm having some issues with my attitude of late. I'm not going to mention where. He lives in a state where single men 18 to 40 outnumber single women by 150,000. This is a fairly accurate number, he says. As a result, women only aspire to be low 7s. Still, they get an overdose of attention. Look, I'm trying to be the best version of myself, but I have to game the women who are honestly trying to be the best versions of themselves. And I hate having a bad attitude, but it's hard to stay positive about dating. Any tips? Interestingly, I think I know who you are. I think we met in Orlando. Your picture looks really familiar, but and the state you live in too. So if I remember correctly, I think you're a divorced dad and you've got shared custody with your kids. So leaving the state doesn't really make a lot of sense for you. It's economics, it's supply and demand. So it really just boils down to, if you can't move to a place where the numbers are more in your favor and you're stuck with the demographics of, you know, the city that you're in for dating, the only way that you're going to improve your odds and be more spoiled for choice is if you just up your game. There's really nothing else you can do because you can't move. So if you want to, you know, increase your SMV, your sexual marketplace value, you can do that, because we know that women like looks and money. You know, genetic signaling of health cues, you know, not looking, you know, gross, look attractive, of course, and having your money sorted, make more money. You know, you might already have it, but you don't signal it. You know, you can signal it by your stride, the clothes that you wear, the car that you drive, things like that. It sounds very material, and I know that it gets annoying for some guys, but you're stuck in the state that you're at. I'm pretty sure that you're the same single dad that I was talking to. So that'd be my advice to you. And before I get onto the live streams, Charles goes, how did you get your beard and head to look so immaculate? I don't know. Shave your head and find a good barber. Good barber is key. You know, you want to go to a barber shop. I mean, if you want to roll with a beard, then you want to find a fine gentleman's barber shop that has people there that have beards. I found only they truly know the you know, the facial hair struggles. So maybe I'll do kind of a quick video with my guy at the barbershop, but he can offer some tips on you know, beards. We'll do that later. Anyway, okay, got a few questions here. Let's see what we got. All right, Matt is asking, when it comes to running your business, by the way, can you guys just comment? Can you hear me loud and clear? I'm pretty sure if you're asking questions that you are, yeah? Just put a little note there for me. When it comes to running your business, what's your biggest strength, biggest weaknesses, and how do you take advantage, compensate? That's a good question. I love it. So a lot of the times people will focus too much on trying to improve their weaknesses. They've got strengths, but they'll go in and try to work on their weaknesses too much. And all you end up with there is a scenario where you've got really strong weaknesses. So what I mean by that is, I used to make this mistake when I was coaching, you know, my staff quite a few years ago. And I would really try to focus on making my B and C players A players when they're not. Like, I was basically trying to take somebody that had sales, that had no sales skills, and make them a salesperson. And all that you really have is a really, really weak salesperson when you do that, if they don't have the natural skills. So double down on strengths is what I do. Basically, you know, your question is, you know, what are your biggest strengths and weaknesses? I double down on my strengths. I'm a problem solver. I'm not afraid to get dirty and do the work and to prove the jobs can be done. Like I'm pretty clear on what my strengths are. I know that my weaknesses are dealing with things like repetitive tasks. So I'll either outsource or I'll automate them, you know, because it's just a waste of my energy, I find. So, you know, my weaknesses also involve, you know, day-to-day stuff like accounting tasks and functions, and I've outsourced all of those. So basically anything that I'm good at, that I enjoy, that's what I spend my time on. If I'm not good at it and I hate it, I'll outsource it or automate it. If I'm not good at it but I enjoy it, I usually aim to try to understand it before I outsource it or automate it. So I hope that answers your question, Matt. And there's a pop-out chat bubble over here on this one. Cool. All right. So if you guys have questions for me, throw them in the comments below. I'm just going to switch over to another page where I got some private messages with other questions while you guys are thinking about that. Okay. This guy says, Richard, really appreciate your wisdom. I recently dated a woman that had some real issues. She was a very self-centered person. Turns out she had NPD. I guess that's narcissistic personality disorder. Her house and car were always a mess. My question is, can you pick up on a woman's mental state by the way that she keeps her house? Absolutely. If somebody's a slob, especially women, because women aren't usually filthy. It's usually guys that are dirty. But if somebody's a slob, then it demonstrates, I think, to the world, you know, what what they want to broadcast, what they're signaling, and especially the way that they operate within their head. It's probably a filthy kind of attitude and person. I mean, I tend to stay away from dirty people. You know, if you're going to roll around with the dogs and you're going to get fleas, you know, it's as simple as that. So it's hard for me to relate because I've naturally just, you know, picked up on those signals. I'll give you a very good example. Dated this woman a couple times. She was one of these chicks that had like a zoo in her condo or apartment. I can't remember what it was, but it was a tiny little place, maybe 600 or 700 square feet. And you walked in there and it's like the scent punched you in the face as soon as you walked in. And there was like rabbits, chinchillas, a couple cats, a few birds. I lost count of all the animals. And the place was like a pigsty. So for me, it's just a non-starter to begin with. So for you to date somebody on that long of a basis, that, you know, turned out to be NPD, you had a lot of signals beforehand, I'm sure, with the state of her house and her car, the way that you put it. So just honor that, you know, pay attention to your intuition because it speaks to you and it definitely offers value. All right, let's close this. Don't save. All right. Okay, getting to the other questions here. Guys, post your questions below. You can either do it on the YouTube page or on the Patreon page, depending on where you're watching this right now. Okay, got another question here from you guys. Sorry, I'm switching back and forth from Instagram and Facebook and everything. Just give me a second. There it is. Okay, I've been following, I'll just read it out to you here. He goes, I've been following the Red Pill and MGTOW community for around 3 years now. The community has been growing exponentially lately, and I've been noticing a huge negative condemnation towards women. Some of the YouTube channels and hosts sound like an old lady complaining about women. I agree. You know, you know, some of them are actually pretty good, and other ones it's just, you know, they just whine about the same shit over and over. And it's like, dude, why did you stay married to the woman for so long if she was such a bitch? My question is, how do you think we as the hardcore MGTOWs are going to hate me for it, but I don't really care. Men and women are designed, as far as I'm concerned, to be together and do stuff. Whether it's, you know, have a chit chat, have a meal, have some sex, it doesn't matter. We're designed to interact that way. So my take on it is understand them and navigate with red pill awareness. Getting angry, I get that getting angry, you know, serves somewhat of a purpose, and it's fine, you know, from the perspective that I've said this before, anger is a legitimate response in the face of injustice. But you should have some control over your emotions. One, somebody just told me this, not going to mention her name, but you know, if you can't control your emotions, you're not going to get anywhere. And those that carry that level of anger towards somebody else, you know, they've said that the two most negative emotions you can feel as a human being are resentment and guilt. So resentment's towards somebody else, guilt's towards yourself. And it's like carrying around a bag of bricks. So all you got to do is put it down, really. It's, you know, it's as simple as not carrying around that nasty ass bag of bricks, pretending like people care. Nobody gives a shit. All you're doing is you're just demoralizing yourself. You're draining yourself. You're probably, you know, pumping out extra cortisol because of stress hormones and shit like that. And your body, of course, when it's pumping out cortisol, eats itself. You know, it uses muscle for energy. So you're not doing yourself any service being angry and festering inside. Like, you know, being angry, like all of a sudden, you know, the hypergamous nature of women is going to change. Or, you know, the girl that you moved all the way across the country for to go to the same university and you changed your major, that is starting to bang, you know, Chad Thundercock, and, you know, she dumped you for that dude. You can't be angry. You know, like, it is what it is. If you understand it and you navigate it better, you'll certainly perform better in the world. And, you know, you can choose at that point to engage with, you know, women on whatever basis you want. But the whole anger towards red pill rage, and you just have to get over it. I talked about that earlier on in the broadcast. So if you're watching this as a recording, or if you're not watching as a recording, it'll be there on the channel later. Okay, sorry, I'm just going back and forth between questions here. There we go. Hey, what's up, Sook? Nice to be here again. Nice to have you back. Not car related, but have you thought about vinyl wrapping? Yeah, it is car related. Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing the R8 in a matte gray at some point. Speaking of the car stuff, I do have a couple of car gigs, I guess, to work out. I'm doing one on Friday, and I've got a video for the channel that's coming out with my buddy Ian Farr's Mini Cooper. It's like a resto mod 1987, and then we were hanging out in his airplane hangar, chatting in there about some other stuff. So look for that. All right. Oh, crap. I closed the post there. See if I can get it back. Sorry, guys. Oh, got a question over here. There it is. 25, never married, never will, and having kids is too risky. However, I'm not a MGTOW. Man's got to eat. Yes. Not interested in cohabitating. What can I do? At 25, just keep doing what you're doing, man. You shouldn't, you know, I've said this before. There's a video that I put on the channel for dating tips for guys in their 20s. And my advice is, of course, spin plates, date on a non-exclusive basis, work on yourself. In your 20s, you shouldn't be focusing too much on LTRs and making any kind of woman the focus of your life. You should be working on building yourself up, building your business, building your career, whatever it is you're doing. Hopefully you're either building up a business as an entrepreneur, or you're working somewhere in STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths, because it's going to take you a few years to get your career off the ground and get the level of success that you're looking for. So do that. Just don't marry, don't cohabitate, and spin plates. And the other good thing about that too is it will start to become obvious to you after a while, where like the cream will rise to the top, and you'll only see it rise to the top if you're spinning multiple plates, right? It'll become obvious who the heroes are and who the zeros are. Just don't spend time with zeros, hang out with the heroes. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Maylon, what's up, buddy? How should I end my relationship when there's nothing wrong with it? After reading the Rational Male, I determined I want to experience more before I settle down. Well, I'd ask myself the first question over and over again. Ask yourself that first question 5 times. And change, instead of how should I, change it to why should I end the relationship when there's nothing wrong with it? Because if there's nothing wrong with it, why do you want to end it? I mean, there's got to be something wrong with it. I mean, are you just bored and you want to start spinning plates or experiencing more women? How old are you, by the way? Just let me know how old you are. Leave me a comment there, because that also matters too. But ask yourself that question several times and be clear on it, and then execute on after that. I mean, you know, how should I end the relationship should just be as simple, hey, I think it's run its course. Let's start to see other people. It should be as simple as that. Nobody, you know, there's no reason to get mad and start throwing things around and finger pointing and calling names. It's a far better dish to serve, you know, cool. Anyway. And then you say, I'm hesitant to break up with her because I don't want to hurt her and she's had rough times lately. Any advice? Don't make her problems your problems. Another lesson for you, another cold hard truth bomb. That's what I do around here. You should never allow other people's problems to become your problem. What happens when you allow other people's problems to become your problem is you start giving fucks to something that's probably not fuckworthy. So ask yourself that question. Is this something that should really matter to me? If you're over the relationship, move on. Oh, there it is. 19. Oh, dude, you're 19. You're living with a 32-year-old? Move on. You've had your fun. Yeah. You're the plaything for her. You know, it's interesting. Good for you. Yeah, just move on. There's nothing in there for you long term. You know, work on yourself, man. All right, let's see what we got here. There was somebody that else that I think sent me a private message. Hang on Instagram. Let me see if I got it here still. Okay. I get messages all over the place here from you guys. Let's see if I can find it. In the meantime, if you have a question, just leave it in the comments of the video. I can't edit this, by the way, because it's a live broadcast. So when you guys are watching this as a rerun, you're going to get pissed off. Hey, you should edit this. No, okay. Somebody asking about that post. Where the hell's that message? No, I lost it. Okay, let's go back here. Came back, Charles, came back home back in June. Reason being is my partner's own. Sorry, you lost me, Charles. Came back home back in June. Reason being is my parents own a locksmith. They needed help, and they told me that once they retire, they will hand the shop to me. I'd say I have at least 5 years before they hand the keys to me. What are some methods I can do to start the transition from owner's son to the owner? I would get intimate with all functions of the business. One, you've got 5 years before they transition it over to you. So get intimate with all aspects of the business so you understand how it works. Look for opportunities. Basically, in today's world, when it comes to being an entrepreneur and running a business, for it to be efficient and effective, because human beings are incredibly inefficient, you want to try to automate, optimize, and outsource wherever possible. So if they've been running the business for a while, Charles, there's probably, people become complacent when they've had a business running for 20, 30 years and they've just got their systems down place. I'll give you a great example. A really good friend of mine took his dad's business when he took it over. I think it was about 2021. His dad was getting ready to retire, and it was doing about a couple $1 million a year, $1.5 million, $2 million a year. And he saw all these opportunities in this old market, this old, let's call it a locksmith market, whatever it was. But it was an old market that's been around for a long time. And he basically turned it into a multi-million-dollar business. It just blew it right up because he saw so many opportunities. So get involved with it if you like it. Start sniffing around, looking for ways to optimize, outsource, and automate. There might be peripherals you can add on. So, before somebody checks out the cart from the locksmith shop with the new keys and locks, is there like a new service you can offer, or a supplementary subscription service you can offer? Maybe security, might be an option, like an upsell. So I'd look for those sorts of options so that you can try to optimize a business to make some more money out of it. I got another question here. I know a lot of people say not to have kids, but me personally, I feel like if you don't have kids, you've kind of let down your parents by not passing on your genes. And I feel like I wouldn't feel complete without raising a son the way my dad should have, but also scared of marriage. Any thoughts? Well, one, you don't have any guarantee you're going to have a son. I grew up in a house of men, got 2 younger brothers, obviously. So I was used to a lot of masculine energy growing up and being around boys, and I wanted to have a boy. I had a daughter. I'm very happy I have a daughter, but I remember when, we were going to the toy store and you do the gift registry for the baby shower, whatever it is. I was going through like the boy section, looking at Lego aircraft carriers and tanks and stuff like that. So you don't get to choose what you get. I suppose you can. I mean, they've got IVF and you can pay 20 grand and probably choose a sex of your kid. But I'd get that part out of your head. And I wouldn't worry about letting down your parents. You shouldn't have kids because you feel like you're letting down your parents. You should have kids because you want them. You should be around kids. Actually, if you're a Patreon, then you have access to the video that I did. There's a 44-minute video on the post. Just scroll back to one of the more prior posts. I was talking about vetting women for marriage and for kids. So take a look at that in more detail. But I would not have children because you feel like you'd be letting down your parents. You have kids because you want them. you know, because you like kids, because you want to be around them, because you want to, you know, do stuff with them. And, you know, at the same time, I suppose, you know, it's got some selfish aspect of passion on your genes too, but don't do it for your parents' sake, do it for yourself. Keep the questions coming, my brothers. Where are we here? Okay. And beg my pardon as I keep digging through for the other questions here. I got the same question basically asked twice, again with the red pill rage with MGTOW. Maybe I'll do a more detailed video on it and put some thought into it for the channel. But yeah, same answer to that one. Don't carry around resentment towards anything. It doesn't serve you. Understanding it and navigating with red pill awareness is, in my opinion, the trick and ticket. That's one of the reasons why I'm writing this book now. I haven't got a title for it yet, but I'm working on the chapters. But it's going to help guys navigate the world a little bit better so they can take a red pill, obviously younger in their life, and understand the concepts a lot better too. All right. Give me one sec, Matthew. I'll get to that. Where's your question? Oh, sorry. My Facebook thing just froze up here where my questions are. Come on. Okay, guys, if you're watching this, put the questions on the YouTube chat if you can, because I'm having some difficulty accessing them on. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, got a question here from Charles. Looks like he couldn't make it for the live broadcast. Sorry, I missed this. I should have done yours first. I've been following my diet and workout plan since the start of October. So it's been a month. I now weigh 306, started at 326. Long ways to go before I hit 200, but it's a start. To help with cutting the carbs and sugar and processed garbage, I joined a gym in my town. Group classes only. It's an hour of cardio mixed with light weights and high reps. I sweat gallons. Okay, in the class, it's more women, mostly fat or old, than guys, like a 5-to-1 ratio. That's the thing, you know, when women exercise, they tend to do it in classes. You know, they like to do it in groups, and guys are more independent. Sorry, just dealing with my tea here. There are a couple of girls that I do want to start talking to, especially the gorgeous one. So there's one. But I put this resistance on myself each time, either focusing on the workout and feeling that she won't talk to me right now. I'm drenched in sweat. If you were my spot, Professor Cooper, how would you overcome it? Well, good thing is she's sweating too. So all you got to do, you know, one of the easiest ways to break in a conversation, hey, how do you like those headphones? If they're wearing like noise canceling headphones and, you know, hey, do they cancel out a lot of the noise? Or what do you think of that brand of shoes? Yeah, I was looking around at it. You know, you kind of get in conversation and see if there's indicators of interest from her. If there are, you know, then it's like, hey, you want to grab a smoothie? You want to get a coffee? You want to get a drink? You know, just bum, bum, bum sort of thing. The other thing I just want to mention, because I remember you asked me last month about the self-care question. I'm glad you're losing weight. But light weights and high reps with an hour of cardio is probably not the best use of your time. You will burn more fat in an hour lifting heavy weights than what you will doing light cardio or light weights with high reps. So if you're mobile, if you have the range of motion and, you know, joints don't hurt too much as you're shedding the weight, do heavy weights, or as heavy as you can possibly do, because that will burn off the most in calories. The other thing it does is when you do heavy compound movements, things like squats, deadlifts, bench press, stuff like that, you're going to boost the testosterone more than what you will doing cardio, for example. So testosterone is obviously a muscle building compound, sex drive compound. You know, you want a lot of the T in the blood. So I'd swap out, you know, the cardio and the light weights for more heavy compound exercises, heavier weights. Okay, keep the questions coming. I'm going to be available here for an hour tops, and I keep losing my chat thing. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys, having a problem with the computer. It seems to be freezing up here in these bubbles. Question, he says, how do you find high quality friends? Most people I meet are fun to talk with, but don't provide much value. There's really two ways. Because I mean, you're talking about filtering them. When you're with them, do you feel better? Do you feel charged up? Do you have more energy? You know, are you going into deep conversations beyond just talking about people? You know, basic bitch conversations are going to be like, oh, did you see what he was wearing today? And you know, those jeans make her butt look fat, sort of thing. You want to go quite a bit deeper when it comes to that sort of stuff and find out if the conversations liven you up, they make you feel alive. If they drain you, it's the wrong person to be around. So that's one of the good filtering mechanisms. Do they increase your average? You know, I've said this before, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So when you're spending time with somebody, ask yourself, am I increasing my average being around them, or am I decreasing my average? The other thing that you can also ask yourself is, if you're the smartest person in the room, identify it and know that you're in the wrong room. Simple as that. As far as finding high quality people, do what high quality people do. You know, I was just talking to my daughter's friend's parents the other night, and we were chatting about skiing because we ski in the wintertime, and not only is it fun and it's great exercise, I've always enjoyed it since I was a kid, but there's a caliber of people that you meet on the ski hills, in the chalets, and, you know, stuff like that. So, if you're spending your time in the social services, no frill section of the, you know, calendar doing some basic bitch stuff, you're going to have basic bitch conversations. You got to pay to play, put yourself in the right room, and understand when you're in the wrong room to get out of it. So I'll kind of distill it like that. I mean, I could go a little further if you got some more question on that one for me, Malon, but I'll leave that one at that. Where's everybody from right now tonight? Just leave me a quick comment. Let me know where you're at, because I know I've got some people in Europe across the pond and some on the other side of North America. I just like seeing where you guys are at. Excuse me. Oh, and if you have any recommendations for this month's, excuse me, getting over a cold. If you have any recommendations for this month's exclusive piece of content for Patreon, let me know what it is. Message me your topic suggestions. I got a few ideas that I'm working on, but I want to get a little more depth. What's up, Southern California? Seattle, Washington. Scotland, nice. All right, any more questions for me, guys? You're a lot quieter tonight. You guys usually have them piling on me. Oh, here we go. Women have the 6 sixes that you once mentioned as a dating standard, as superficial as that may be. You think maybe men can come up with a similar quick, dirty way of screening women? Well, men are success objects to women. There's no doubt about that. They always look to marry up, date up, you know, whatever it might be. So women are really just beauty objects to men. You know, what 6 sixes could you lay out for women? I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. You know, some guys are boob guys, some guys are bum guys. You know, some people like long hair, short hair. It's whatever floats your boat. You know, for me personally, I know what I like, that I look for. You know, I've got like a height range. You don't want them too tiny because you're going to hurt them, or too tall because you feel like you're dating a Sasquatch. You don't want them heavy because you like fit women, obviously. Well, I do anyway. And who doesn't like boobs and bums? So I don't really care what they do, as long as they're passionate about what they do for a living. They don't need to make 6 figures. Most women don't. But as long as they're passionate about what they do and they're not broke, that's important. Make sure you're not playing Captain Save-A-Ho, obviously. No LTRs with single mothers, of course. I'm going to break that all down in my book. So let me put some more thought into that one. I'll think about that one a little bit more for you. Question, where did that go? All right, give me a second. I'll pop that open and grab it from here. All right, here we go. Is talking to a girl over... If you're talking to a girl over a distance and she never texts first, maybe once would be a good indicator that you're on to give her a fuck list. I don't follow that question. Over distance and she never texts first, maybe once would that be a good indicator? I don't... Just reframe that question for me. I don't get that one, Supin. Oh, I got questions showing up here too. Sorry. Let's see if I can figure that out. Yeah, got it. What are some good money-making opportunities that you see out there? You know, cryptocurrency is one that baffles my mind and makes sense at the same time. I think it's got a lot of opportunity. So if you know the market and you feel like you've got a solution, whatever pain point people suffer in that market, I would offer them some sort of solution. I don't know enough about the market and I don't trust it right now for the simple reason, I've mentioned this before in my videos, that it's not being regulated by the government, the state, just yet. And the biggest flaw with something like cryptocurrencies is they can't print it, they can't manipulate it, they can't do anything with it. It's completely out of the control, but they can regulate it at the point where it enters the free market. Exchange points, banking points, you know, things like that. And they haven't done anything yet. And I think there's a lot of risk there still. So it's probably going to get regulated somehow. So I'd be careful with that. But that's definitely the biggest opportunity. What I'd ask myself, actually, as far as money-making opportunities is, what sort of stuff are you world-class at, is the first thing. And the second thing is, how can you solve problems for people with the stuff that you're world-class at? And then kind of like marry those up and see what you can do to create some sort of value and then charge fees for it. I don't know what your skills are, so it's difficult for me to answer that question for you specifically, but ask yourself those two questions. What am I world-class at, and what problems do you see that you can solve that people are willing to give you money for? Oh, so you rephrase it. Okay. Multitasking. Okay. So if she never texts first, what would be a good indicator that you're not a priority to her? Well, it's pretty much that. Women are spoiled for choice. If you ever saw a woman's phone that's, you know, dating or spinning plates, she's got multiple apps going. She's got anywhere from 6 to 10 conversations going simultaneously with different guys. If she's not communicating with you, you're not a priority. It's as simple as that. If you're attracted to women that are not finding you a priority, then you got to up your game. You got to up your sexual marketplace value. So again, it really just boils down to looks and money. Be attractive. Don't be unattractive, obviously. And make sure you got your game together. If you need to signal, you know, maybe you need to signal more if you're a little more low key, but that would be my advice to you. Don't go chasing women. It's a waste of, you know, it's a waste of energy. If you're, you know, if you're signaling correctly and you've got game, then it shouldn't be that hard for you. Either that or you're batting out of your league, which might be something else that you want to consider. Yeah, I got that question. Let me close that. What are my core values? Oh, fuck. Okay, what are my core values, you're asking me? Well, my core values shouldn't be your core values. My core values are become better, understand why things happen. Red pill awareness is a big core value of mine lately. That's why I've committed to writing a book now. So, you know, understanding the world, having more red pill awareness, teaching other people is an important core value of mine as well. Self-care, very important core value of mine. I do like to indulge in crap from time to time. I'm not, you know, eating healthy 99 or 100% of the time. I still get into about, you know, junk every 4 or 5% of the time. My daughter's Halloween candies at my house right now, and you got to exert some self-discipline and self-control to stay away from the bag of junk. But yeah, those would be my main core values. When planning your meal for the day, what's the ratio of protein, vegetable, and carbs? Well, generally speaking, my philosophy and what works for me, and it may not work for you. You can check your blood type. There's blood type, books that you can read that'll teach you how to eat based on what your blood type is. But you should know when you pay attention to how your body responds to different kinds of foods. For me personally, proteins and green vegetables are usually the best combination that I like. I do eat carbs. I love pasta. Carbonara is one of my favorites, so I do eat it. But as long as you're, treating yourself to a calorie deficit, it's as simple as that. I mean, if you want to look healthy, feel healthy, and signal out to the world that you're attractive, don't carry around extra body fat. And if you notice that what you're eating is putting on body fat, you need to move more, eat better. It's as simple as that. I'll probably at some point do like because I've had you guys ask me this a lot. What do I eat? When do I work out? Maybe I'll do like a week of meals and workouts and like a very condensed video if I can kind of distill it in one so you can see what I do with my habits. But mine aren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, every Monday when I go into the office, I swing by McDonald's and I get a bacon and egg McMuffin. So I'm not eating perfectly all the time. But let's see what I got here. Charles, I remember you mentioned Bumble is a good dating app, given the girl makes the first move. Are there any other dating apps you'd recommend? I've not touched them in a while, but I would say Bumble's good, of course, because women have to reach out to you first, so that indicates they've got solid interest. The ones that aren't app-based, I think probably Match would be the best bet for you. Plenty of Fish is plenty of whales. You get what you pay for. It's all free, so it's flooded with broke women or single mothers that think that their value is a lot higher than what it really is. At least Match, both parties have to pay. What's the other one? eHarmony. That one's bullshit. It's like the women on that are brutal. You're not going to get attractive women there. If you like attractive women, and stay off eHarmony. I mean, they try to match you based on personality, but you're not going to change the fact that women are hypergamous and are looking for higher value, higher status men that are established and signal, attractive cues. And men are never going to get away from the fact that they like bums and boobs and pretty faces. It is what it is. Let me grab the next one here. Okay. Got any more questions, guys? Keep them coming. I got to flip back and forth through like 3 different windows here again. Here we go. Any less common self-care habits you'd like to share? Sleep is probably one of the most important things. What's up, Jose? Sleep, probably one of the most important. Diet and movement. Those 3 things. If you can get those 3 things down right, and lots of sex, because why not? Diet is super important. You're not going to put crappy fuel in a fast car. I don't put shitty fuel in my R8. It gets top shelf fuel. You're going to get out of it what you put in your body. It's as simple as that. Move it. The human body is not designed to sit in a chair. Like, I am so bad sitting in a chair right now. I should do these things standing up. In fact, I'm going to sit up because I'm slouching. The human body is not designed to sit in a freaking chair for 8 hours a day. Get up and move around. I make a conscious effort every 20 minutes to get up and do something, whether that's, go for a stroll, go to the mailbox, take a phone call. I do those with my headset on. If I'm doing any coaching for people, that's how I do them. And I'm walking around. So, we've been designed to hike a few miles a day, hunt saber-toothed tigers, throw spears and bows and arrows for millions of years. That's what we did. We're hunter-gatherers. So moving is super important. Don't get comfortable. If you work in an office space, take the stairs up and down if there's many floors. One of my staff in my office used to weigh 300 plus pounds. He's down to the low 200s, and it's all a result of moving more and eating better. He goes for a walk like 2 or 3 times a day. Like, he has a schedule. He gets up and he goes for a stroll around the block 2 or 3 times a day. So it's as simple as that. Hey, I'm not sure why you're not added. Send me a message and give me the email address that you log into Facebook with, and I'll try to add you to the secret group again. I'm not sure why it's not adding you, but shoot me a message, or just paste it there if you want, because I don't think it shows up in the final recording. And I'll add you after this call. Any more questions, guys? Let's go back over here. I actually prefer these smaller groups because when the questions come in, they're good. They're a lot better. Okay. No, I did that one. Oh, okay. Hold on, Superman, 1 sec. Okay, so, oh, hey man, what's up, Charles? Are visible tattoos a problem in a professional environment such as a dealership or entrepreneurial setting? It depends. If you're in the business of building motorcycles and you've got staff that make some wicked bikes, tattoos are totally fine. But if you're got like a neck tattoo or something like that, or some shit on your hand, and you do business with people that don't have those, birds of a feather flock together. You're certainly going to repel them. So you want to be mindful of stuff like that. One of the guys that I met last month at the event in Orlando, he has a tattoo on the side of his head, kind of close to his eye, all the way down his arm and his hands. Like, he's tatted up, but he runs strip joints. So it depends what business you're in. If you're working in a professional environment and it's not par for the course, showing up with a tattoo, shaving the side of your head with a lightning bolt down the side of your face is not going to be well received. So, you got to be mindful of the environment that you're in. Okay, I'll kill that page because that's not working. Okay, got it. Thanks. I'll try to add you after the live stream is over. Let me just copy it here. Okay. Any other questions for me, guys? Actually, I'm going to add you right now while I'm doing that, because I can copy and paste quite quickly. There we go. You should be added now. Let me know if that didn't work. Matt, sorry, do you have a question, dude? Let me see here. What's that one? Obviously, outside feedback is best, but any tips on evaluating your strengths yourself without being too biased? If you're really good at it and you enjoy it, focus on those things. If you're really good at it, you enjoy it, and people recognize you for it. I started to hear people recognize me, I guess, for the content creation that I did on the YouTube channel when I started getting private messages like, "You're the father I never had." I've had, moms tell me that they forwarded my videos to their, 20-year-old sons who are in bad relationships with crazy women. So when people start recognizing from the outside that what you're doing is moving the bar on other people's lives, you enjoy it, and you're good at it, those are the things that I'd be focusing on. I'd be doubling down on those things exclusively. So I'm gonna do this for another 10 more minutes. Bust out the last few questions for me, my brothers, and we'll wrap this one up shortly. Again, I want to thank everybody that's become a Patreon, supported the work, random, PayPal donations that come in from time to time as well, and those that I have coached. Those of you guys that are watching this as a recorded message on the channel after the fact, if you want to get involved in the live Q&A sessions, you need to become a Patreon and support the work. Okay. Oh, here. Sorry, guys. I missed all these questions. 6/6s. No, long distance relationships a bad idea. Relationships require touch. Okay. I think I've talked about LDRs before. They require touch. You're not going to have a connection with anybody if you're doing it over the phone or Skype or FaceTime and you see each other once every 3 weeks or something like that. Spin plates, contrast, let the cream rise to the top would be my advice. Charles, on top of making sure all electronics and lights are turned off in your bedroom, are there supplements you use for a good night's sleep? Yes. I don't use them anymore, actually. I'm drinking a nighttime tea, so it's a herbal tea. It's got nighttime stuff in it. Can't remember what the ingredients are, but if you go to the grocery store in the natural aisle, they've always got tea. It's like sleepy time tea or something they call it. Supplements that are also good, magnesium apparently helps with sleep. I did a video on sleeping better. It's on the channel. There's magnesium. What else was there? GABA, G-A-B-A. It's amino acid. And specifically, that's good for people that wake up in the middle of the night trying to think, or their subconscious mind is awoken by their conscious mind, and they have a hard time getting back to sleep because they're thinking about shit. So GABA just kind of like calms that part of the mind. But that would be my advice for you there, Charles. What are the goals you set for the month of November? I wouldn't worry about my goals. I'd worry about your goals. What goals are you setting and actually executing on? The things that I'm working on right now involve stuff to do with YouTube. I've got a lot of stuff I'm doing with my business, the debt relief business. I'm restructuring some of the components of it actually, and automating the selling process a little bit more. Working on self-care. One of the things I've been working on actually is, where did I put it? Do I still have it here? No, I brought it back upstairs, I think, but I have a appointment with healthcare professional to get my testosterone levels checked because I want to see where they're at because I've been feeling weak at the gym lately. So that's what I'm going to be checking and working on. Sukman. Answering questions. If sleeping with a woman isn't one of your biggest priorities while you begin in your 20s, would that be a problem or just a preference? A lot of guys around want to fuck everything that moves. I'm not saying don't make time for it. As Eddie Murphy said in his stand-up comedy, the 20s are your years to fuck. I can't remember which one it was. It was Raw or Delirious, but yeah. Spin plates, date in a non-exclusive fashion, but focus on yourself first and foremost. You're not going to be working on yourself 24 hours a day. You're not going to be working on your business 24 hours a day. You're not going to be working on your craft if you're in STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths. Work on yourself though, but carve out time for social activities to understand people, to meet women. I mean, if you like women, they're going to be a part of your life anyway. You might as well learn how they behave. You might as well learn how to vet them better. You might as well, have some fun and get some contrasting views of what you're looking at. Because, if you're the same person that asked me earlier, I can't remember, that was thinking about settling down and having kids, you should know how to vet women, one, and two, identify bad behavior. And you'll only get that if you spend time with them. All right, let's see what we got here. And I feel like I need 3 screens to do this live broadcast with Patreon. It's kind of, okay, here we go. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna stay on for another 5 or 10 more minutes. What do you guys got for me? Last questions, let's wrap it up. Trying to become more disciplined. Okay, I just finished writing this part of my book. So let's talk about cold showers. I've never been good at stuff like that. Cold showers are not fun. They're not. Let's be honest. They're uncomfortable. The water's cold. We've been used to showering with hot water. But it takes self-control to put yourself into a shower stall with cold water coming down on you. So self-control is a muscle, just like picking up weights and doing curls will strengthen your biceps. Strengthening your ability to control yourself, which is another way to manage your fucks better. I talk about this a lot now, but taking cold showers is a basic thing to do. Try it out. It'll be hard at first. Your body's actually used to it, believe it or not. For millions of years, we didn't have hot water. When we bathed, we braved in cold rivers and lakes and stuff like that. So it's not like we had this abundant access to a tap where you turned it on and hot water would be available to us like that. Start with lukewarm water and kind of turn the dial down until it gets cold. Starting with cold showers is a really, really good way, especially for men, because it has so many benefits. Boosts testosterone, helps you sleep better, improves the immune system. Circulation works better, which means higher testosterone, more circulation means better hard-ons, better sex, right? So better fat burning too. Clears out mental fog. There's so many benefits of cold showers. I talk more about it in detail in the chapter that I'm writing in the book, but exercising your self-control will allow you to be more disciplined. So try something fairly simple like taking cold showers. Okay. Give me one more, guys, before I go. Come on, drop it on me. Give me the bomb. I think what I might do is I might post this on the pages earlier on to get your questions in advance, and then do more live ones, because we've got lots of space on the Patreon page for stuff like this right now. You should be taking advantage of this, guys. You know, there's not a lot of people on right now. We don't have like the 500 we had on last time when we did a live Q&A with the entire YouTube channel. Okay, got that one done already. No, I answered that one. Okay, looks like we're about up. Been on for about an hour. Hope you guys got some value out of that. Oh, hang on. What can I do if I fall in love easily? Too easily. You got to be careful with that. You ever see what was that movie? Heat. Heat was a movie. Robert De Niro said, never get yourself in a scenario where you can't walk out of that shit in 30 seconds flat. That includes everything in life. You know, if you're going to make the woman, you know, the apple of your eye, the focus of your life, and you know, basically your number one priority, she should be a compliment, not the focus. And if that's still happening for you, it's because you're not managing your energy. You don't put priorities on things in your life that should be more important if you're just making her the circle of your universe. I can't tell you how many guys I've coached now that it's like, I've said this before. I traveled all the way across the country. I changed my major to go to the school that she was going at. You know, I stopped playing whatever sport, so I had to play this over here at the school just to go to the same school with her. And 2 years later, she's banging Chad Thundercock and ditches him, and he can't sleep for months and he can't get over it. How do you get over that? Red pill awareness, understanding female nature will help you get over it. So you need to focus on yourself. If you're focusing too much on women and you're falling in love too easily, and you got to remember, you know, men and women love each other completely differently. Women are more, how do I put it, more opportunistic. They love the utility of men. They can't love men in the way that men want to be loved. Men have this vision of, you know, like a Disneyland venture where it's like, you know, boy kisses girl, girl falls in love with boy, boy saves girl from, you know, said evil, and they live happily ever after, and she never leaves, cheats on him, or bangs Chad Thundercock. So you've got to understand the reality of the world, and men still love women in this Disneyland fashion kind of way. So understand, you know, the nature of male attraction to women and male love for women, and understand how women behave, because they're not loving you the same way that you love them. So just understand it that way. Cool. I saw a bunch of questions come in as I was answering that. Okay, sorry, I got 3 more and then that's it. Okay, thanks. All right, Matt, appreciate it. New Jersey, what can you say for men in late 50s? Not sure what your question is, Mike. Can you be clear, a little more clear on that real quick? Yeah, no problem. Should I go down to a certain weight in order to start dating women I want? No, dude, just date. You know, it doesn't matter if you're 300 pounds. Just do it. Ask, like, practice. You know, what are you going to say? No, I'm not interested in you. That's fine. You know, when you're down to 200 pounds and you're looking like a smoke show, and you know you've increased your SMV and she still probably stayed the same, you'll be the one spoiled for choice then and have the ability to say no. So you know, just get used to the uncomfortable notion that, you know, some women may not be interested in you. It's, you know, attraction is pretty straightforward. It's be attractive and don't be gross, you know. So as long as you're working on yourself and you're making forward progress, just keep going. Some of them are going to say no, no big deal. It is what it is. All right. Thank you for tuning into tonight's live Q&A session. I appreciate and value you guys immensely. If you're watching the recorded on the YouTube channel, guys, if you want to get involved in these live Q&A sessions, then please go on over to Patreon /EntrepreneursinCars and support the work there. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.